ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
And we are following breaking news on this Friday as a judge temporarily halts the newly signed assault weapons law in Illinois.
Plus, we have new reaction from today after the 9 candidates hoping to be the new mayor of Chicago facing off right here on ABC7.
And a street vendor saves the day after spotting a fire burning right next to a restaurant.
And we're going to be hearing from local advocates taking part in marches today and this weekend on both sides of the abortion debate. Sunday is the 50th anniversary of the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision.
And for some, it is the dinner hour. So later on tonight, Chicago restaurant kicking off. And you know what? We are talking to one restaurant owner live on this Stream Team on this Friday.
Let's begin tonight, though, with that breaking news. A downstate judge temporarily halting Illinois' new assault weapons ban from being enforced on the hundreds of people who are involved in a lawsuit.
Well, tonight, Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul says he disagrees with the decision that was filed of a notice of appeal. Our Eric Hong reports from the newsroom tonight.
It appears to apply only to the plaintiffs in this case. That includes 4 federal firearms license dealers and more than 860 individual gun owners in dozens of Illinois counties. The temporary restraining order granted by a judge in downstate Effingham County puts the assault weapons ban on pause for those plaintiffs until the case can be heard. That landmark legislation was just passed by the General Assembly and signed into law by the governor 10 days ago, banning the sale, delivery, and purchase of dozens of assault-style weapons and requiring such firearms currently owned to be registered with state police. This lawsuit, filed by downstate attorney and former GOP candidate for Illinois Attorney General Thomas DeVore, argued that the legislature did not follow constitutionally mandated procedures in enacting the law, that it essentially cut corners in the legislative process. Today, supporters of the law say they're disappointed with the judge's action.
I mean, even before the law was passed, gun rights advocates were already talking about how they were going to file lawsuits. So this is not surprising at all. It's obviously frustrating that the TRO was granted. But you know what? A setback always sets people up for a comeback. So I'm going to trust in the process.
In a statement, Governor Pritzker said this decision is not surprising. Although disappointing, it is the initial result we've seen in many cases brought by plaintiffs whose goal is to advance ideology over public safety. The state likely to appeal the granting of this TRO, and the governor saying he's confident the courts will uphold the law's constitutionality. In the newsroom, Eric Hong, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Eric, thank you for that. Now, just a short time ago, we were able to speak with attorney Thomas DeVore, who filed this lawsuit. He says his objection is based on how this law got passed.
This case that we're talking about right now solely relates to the procedural manner of which they passed this law, and solely relates to the fact that they passed gun regulations that don't apply equally to everybody.
And we will have much more on the reaction to this ruling and take a look at what comes next in this fight. We'll have this tonight on ABC7 on Eyewitness News at 10 o'clock.
We have new developments in the race for Chicago mayor one day after the forum right here at ABC7. Tonight, there's a new poll out while 2 candidates are finding themselves in the middle of some squabbles. A political reporter, Craig Wald, breaking it all down for us tonight. Craig?
Polls are always a snapshot in time, and we're still more than 5 weeks away from the election. But this new one does not bode well for Mayor Lori Lightfoot and is giving confidence to several of her challengers. One day after Mayor Lori Lightfoot had to fend off attacks from 8 mayoral challengers in the ABC7 debate, a new poll suggests she could be in trouble. The poll showing Paul Vallis surging to the head of the pack with 26% of the vote, followed by Jesus Chuy Garcia at 19%. Brandon Johnson jumping up to third at 12.2%, and Lightfoot falling to fourth with 9.8%. Willie Wilson comes in next at 8.5%, the rest far behind, but there are still 20% of voters who remain undecided. The poll was commissioned by the Chicago-based PAC Americans for a Safer and Better Tomorrow that was just formed in December to support candidates running for office in Chicago.
Crime is out of control.
The poll could be a reflection of the television ads that Vallis as well as Johnson launched earlier this month. Vallis's campaign saying these polling results prove what our campaign already knew, that Paul Vallis is surging and establishing himself as a frontrunner in the race for mayor. Lightfoot's campaign dismissing the poll, saying the methodology here is nothing that any reputable pollster would use in a race that is complicated with this diverse of an electorate. This Republican pollster has no track record. It's not worth the paper that it's printed on. But now there is new trouble brewing for Chuy Garcia. Sources tell ABC7 that he is the unidentified member of Congress referenced in court documents in the Mike Madigan ComEd indictment case. His campaign notes he is not accused of any crime and is not involved in any investigation, adding it is political silly season in Chicago and his opponents are inventing a phony attack because he is the frontrunner in this race.
Congressman Garcia, you must have missed that when you were cutting deals with Sam Bankman-Fried, the crypto crook, Mike Madigan, the indicted speaker.
Still, Lightfoot taking a swipe in the debate, mirroring her ad attacking Garcia. Garcia, meanwhile, planning to launch his own TV ads soon.
We will be up on TV, and those ads are going to be out of sight.
Clearly, this race will be heating up with less than 6 weeks until the election. The top two candidates will face off in the runoff on April 4th. Back to you.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. And that 90-minute mayoral debate is going to be airing on ABC7 this Sunday night, beginning at 10:30 here, right after our Eyewitness News at 10 o'clock. Also, we have the video posted on our website right now, abc7chicago.com.
All right, we have made it through another week together, working together. We made it to Friday as we look at a nice, beautiful picture of the city on this Friday night. During this hour of power, meteorologist Cheryl Scott is joining us now with the ABC7 AccuWeather forecast. And perhaps there was a sighting of snow, if you will, today, Cheryl?
Yeah, some snow showers, very brief over the lake, and also some snow flurries flying around. We had some moisture lingering here, and right now we're seeing an end to that activity with cloudy skies remaining in place, a current temperature of 31 degrees. Satellite and radar showing some lake energy here, fueling some lake effect snow showers on the other side of the lake. Then you can see a few little flurries, light snow showers popping up here across parts of Lake Michigan closer to Chicago. But again, mostly dry conditions expected here at home for the remainder of the night. We start the weekend off dry, but into the second half of the weekend, here comes our next storm system, and this will spread in some light snow shower activity as we go into our Sunday. So tomorrow, we can't rule out a peak of sun or two, but the day will be dominated by mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures a little bit cooler, back to near average with highs near freezing, mid-30s as we go late Saturday and into early Sunday. Closer to about that midnight time frame, some snow showers will start to spread over our area. This will linger into the early morning hours. This is not a big snowmaker for us. We're talking a few tenths of an inch really at best. Most areas seeing less than half an inch. And by Sunday afternoon, lingering flurries in the forecast, cloudy skies, but perhaps sunshine for a day here in Chicago coming up. We'll highlight that in the 7-day coming up in a bit. Back to you.
Celebrate on Monday. Celebrate sunshine.
Just a little bit.
Right?
Just a little bit.
We'll take
that
it.
sun.
Yes, thank you, Cheryl, so much. Now, a man caught on camera starting a grease fire right outside a Chicago restaurant. Thankfully, a street vendor saw what happened and then jumped into action. Our Christian Pico speaking to the vendor and the restaurant owner.
The owner of Hai Su tells me he's just grateful his Vietnamese restaurant is still standing tonight after someone started a fire in the restaurant's alleyway grease container last week. It wasn't the Chicago Fire Department that put out the fire, though. It was a street vendor named Juan Luis.
Muchas gracias.
Oh, it's okay. Words of appreciation will never be enough for Thai Dang, the owner of Hai Su, an award-winning Vietnamese restaurant on West 18th and South Carpenter.
Muchas gracias. From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my corazón. I can't tell you how much I love this man. So much.
That man is this street vendor.
This is Juan Luis. Look at him. Pushing his cart. Finished for the day.
A special bond that's been forged by fire.
Because of him, he saved our restaurant. Why? What did I do? Was it towards me? Towards what I'm here, or what is it? I can't figure that out.
Those are questions Thai is still trying to answer after an unidentified man ignited a fire in Hai Su's alleyway grease container early in the morning on Monday, January 9th. We've blurred the man's face because he's not been charged. Thai worries the fire could have threatened his restaurant and the tenants living above, if not for Juan Luis.
Juan Luis came with the water that he had. at his cart and start dousing it. Because of that, he saved literally the restaurant and, the possible harm that goes to the tenants.
We spoke with Juan Luis inside Ty's restaurant.
Mirando el humo que estaba brotando.
Seeing the smoke, I ran to see where it was coming from. I saw flames, I got water, and I threw it. Ty says he's now trying to pay it forward to Juan Luis and hopes to work with the community to set up a fund to help his family.
Hit me up. I would love to put something together and just show him that, there's love everywhere.
Get this, Ty tells me Juan Luis has been selling his Mexican goods along this stretch of West 18th Street for nearly 3 decades. He says running into Juan each day is often his highlight. We're in Pilsen. I'm Christian Picos, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
What a story, Christian. A tie that binds in the city. All right, let's take you out to this. At least 4 kids have been hurt after 2 school buses collided. This was in DuPage County. That crashed just after 10 this morning on I-55 north of Route 83. The Illinois State Police saying that 4 children were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
And new at 7 tonight, Dalton police and elected officials handing out free gun and steering wheel locks tonight. It is in response to car thefts and gun violence in the south suburbs. The gun lock giveaway, it happened at the new skating rink in Dalton.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken making multiple stops in Chicago today. He joined Illinois Senator Dick Durbin for a tour of an art exhibit featuring the work of children in Ukraine. And they also took part in a discussion at the Ukrainian Cultural Center. That is where Secretary Blinken said community efforts to help Ukraine are vital.
At the heart of so much of what we're doing is work that's been done, being done by communities across our country, also in support of Ukraine, and no more so than right here in Chicago.
Secretary of State Blinken also later meeting with refugee workers at Eli's Cheesecake. Some photos there. Also attended a political discussion at the University of Chicago.
Well, thousands gathering in Washington, D.C. today for the March for Life. Anti-abortion rights demonstrators from the Chicago area and throughout the country rallied at the National Mall. This is the first march since the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade and 2 days before the 50th anniversary of the landmark decision in 1973. Sarah Schulte tonight talking with people on both sides of the issue.
Welcome to the 50th annual March for Life.
March for Life was created as a response to the January 22, 1973 Supreme Court ruling that legalized abortion, with their sole purpose to overturn Roe versus Wade achieved after 50 years. Anti-abortion rights activists come together again to celebrate their victory and change focus.
It's also an opportunity for us to kind of regroup and reset, because now our work is really out in the capitals of the 50 states and the District of Columbia.
Eric Scheidler, whose late father was a key architect of the anti-abortion rights movement, joined marchers today to the U.S. Capitol. The movement will not only focus on banning or limiting abortion in the states, but pushing Congress to pass federal limits.
And most Americans would support a policy that would make the United States more in line with a country like Germany or Italy or France, with something like a 15 or 16-week abortion limit.
Abortion rights supporters say they'll fight just as hard to keep abortion safe and legal throughout the country.
Our side is actually on the beginnings of building a new and massive movement across the nation to not only restore abortion rights where they've been taken away, but to extend them even beyond what Roe provided for us.
Chicago for Abortion Rights member Linda Lowe says local activists will begin by staying vigilant in Illinois, but primarily focusing on helping neighboring states. 18 across the country now have full or partial abortion bans.
And certainly Wisconsin, which has an 1849 law, draconian law, which bans abortion in almost every instance.
And dozens of Chicago and Illinois abortion rights supporters are headed to Wisconsin on Sunday, the anniversary of Roe, for a big rally at the state capitol to protest Wisconsin's abortion ban. Sarah Schulte, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Sarah, thank you. Tonight, we are hearing from the operator of the Des Plaines Theater who canceled an event involving several conservative groups. The event, called Out of the Echo Chamber Coalition for Kids, faced opposition from LGBTQ advocates. A theater operator, Ron Onesti, says that he was not involved in the event, but received hateful calls and bullets in the mail.
Well, there's a lot of hate, and that's what saddened me. The threats were pretty profane and profound. I mean, it was all kinds of things on social media. People came into the theater bringing guns. They said, we're going to bring guns and show you what it's really about.
Awake, Illinois organized the event, which was planned for next month. The group released a statement saying it did not make the decision to cancel the event.
Well, talks are underway to reach an agreement to end the strike at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Faculty members walking off the job on Tuesday. They're calling for better pay and a bigger investment in mental health services for the students. Well, the students are disappointed there, missing classes during the strike.
2 or 3 weeks from now, that's when the semester really starts to pick up. It could be really rough for us.
Well, the strike does not include faculty members from the colleges of medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy or the School of Law.
Now let's turn to an Eyewitness News exclusive tonight. We introduce you to a man who has been without a home since November, and he travels to soup kitchens and he spends his nights at O'Hare Airport. Mark Rivera introduces us now to people who are trying to help him and shares the roadblocks this man has hit.
I say good, bad, or what, I'll deal with it, regardless what the odds are against me or not.
Words of strength for a 77-year-old Polish man who's faced more than his fair share of hardship without a home yet again.
This has happened to me a few times. Look, I know how to deal with it. But the average person would not be able to survive like I did.
Norbert Pikula has been without a stable place to live since November, when he says the friend he was staying with was admitted to the hospital. Now he's on the street with winter bearing down.
When the cold weather is bad like this, see, all these shelters are filled up like crazy.
So every day he travels the Blue Line, spending his nights at O'Hare, he says, sleeping on chairs and benches.
They did not harass you at all. See, that makes a big difference. Because I'm not bothering nobody.
In the morning, he takes the Blue Line back to the Northwest Side and elsewhere to find soup kitchens.
So for me, that's how I am able to have food to eat.
At one of those kitchens, Saturdays at Holy Trinity Church in Ukrainian Village, Pikula met Annabelle Tuma, a volunteer with the Chicago Help Initiative, and her mother, who helped set up a GoFundMe for Pikula to pay for a low-cost studio apartment.
The current issue, ironically, being faced is that it's difficult to open a bank account without an address.
Now there are nearly $5,000 raised, but Pikula is unable to access any of it.
It's heartbreaking. He's in his 70s. Obviously, no one should be experiencing that, but I can't imagine having to do that for so long in life and then at his age too.
How soon do you think you're going to be able to find housing now?
I cannot give you an answer because it is just in the air right now. I got no idea when it's going to happen. See, I have to wait it out.
Mark Rivera, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
What a story, Mark. Thank you very much. Now, we reached out to GoFundMe, and just hours ago we were told that they're working directly with the organizer and PNC Bank to open an account that Mr. Pikula can access. So that's the irony, or I guess the dilemma in all this. It's hard to have an account when you don't have a proper address.
Right. So, but the beautiful part is that so many people wanted to help, and now it looks like he's going to receive the generosity from so many strangers.
Yeah, and he says going to O'Hare, whatever you may think of that, people don't bug him, and he's not bothering anybody else.
Blends in with everybody.
He's waiting for a flight, maybe. Who knows?
You know, he could soon now after this.
No reason to bother him.
Well, we will continue to follow that story, and hopefully we have more good news to share with you about that. But still ahead for us tonight, preparing for the Lunar New Year, the big events that are planned for right here in Chicago.
Lots of rock and roll celebration as a new big sculpture. Look at that, arriving in Illinois.
Yeah, it's Feel Good Friday, but we're going to go back into the archives and take a look back. 1985, do you remember where you were? I certainly do, freshman down at U of I. Some of you may never forget. It's because Chicago recorded the coldest day on record, 27 degrees below zero. Ooh, I'm freezing just saying it. The wind chill, believe this, minus 78 degrees. It was colder that day in Chicago than it was in Antarctica.
My goodness, you know.
I mean, oh, I just want to.
It's painful. You see the pain on the people.
Yes.
I remember the pain. It was nearly this cold. 2019. I think Cheryl Scott's going to talk about this a little bit right now in a second. But everybody didn't go to work, and
we were shut down.
We were shut down. I was out there, Cheryl Scott. Cheryl Burton,
you
out
called
there reporting that day.
Yeah,
with
telling people not to go outside.
Yeah, exactly. Our old pal Manouch was with me, and we were like, what are we doing? It was dangerous.
Remember it. We called it Siberia.
Yeah.
Of course, never forgot
it was
that.
so cold.
I mean, you stepped outside and you couldn't breathe. Frostbite would set in with just minutes. I remember I drove to the lake because the steam on the lake just rising there with that cold air in place it just seemed otherworldly. Yeah. And I went to take a picture and my phone just went black because it couldn't keep up with the cold temperatures outside. It just didn't work. It was like cut off. This isn't healthy.
This was like that.
Oh my God, that was so scary.
That was in 2019, not 1980.
That was like just recent. That's not too far ago, like 3 years, 4 years ago.
So keep that in mind when you're worried and you're kind of grumbling about the kind of temperatures that we're dealing with now and the lack of sunshine.
Yeah, perspective.
It's not
perspective.
It ain't that.
Thank you. Yeah,
it ain't
look
that,
at that,
as they say.
I mean, you could see the pain in their eyes, and you could feel it.
Just hurts to think about.
That reminds me of my childhood. Sometimes growing up in Canada, you know, we would walk backwards to school regularly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just because the wind was just too sharp, and it hurt.
Gosh.
It really, really
look
hurt.
At that. Oh my gosh.
How my Indian parents dealt with that, I just don't know. I don't know how, you know, people who are new to the country, all the folks who are making Chicago their home now, I mean, they have to deal with winter, and that's part of acclimatizing to life here.
But it's been nice, though.
Yeah.
It's been really nice, Cheryl.
Especially this month. I mean, it's been
above average.
Mild. However, question for you guys, would you prefer these temperatures and just gray skies all the time, or, you know, 15 degrees and sunshine? Because
I'll take the sunshine and cold any day. Vitamin D, Cheryl. We need it. We are missing it. We have an APB out on the sun. There is an investigation going on in the I-team. Where is
I would take 10 degrees colder for
the sun every day.
Peaks of sun every day.
I'll take every day, not just peaks.
Okay, agree. Because this whole seasonal depression thing is beginning
SAD,
to really
seasonal affective
I've lived in
disorder.
places like that. West Coast of Canada. It is you
never get the sun.
No, I
imagine from November till Easter. Just rains every day.
No.
And it's gray every day.
Ooh, well, I guess if you get used to it,
they
okay,
don't.
but no.
I mean, there's some pharmaceutical intervention at times.
That messes with you.
That's a tough one.
You want to do more when the sun's out, Cheryl.
We do, and it just brightens the mood. Is this music like helping bring the sunny vibes to the show?
Today is National DJ Day, and we got Greg on the ones and twos.
Okay,
Greg.
Yeah,
it's
He's
Friday.
like, stop talking, let's play music.
Friday, okay. That might be the music for us to stop talking.
Exactly.
That's why he played it.
Yeah, we got
it. Okay, well, taking a look back at those stats, I mean, we did drop to 27 below zero back in 1985. That's our coldest temp ever recorded. We did come close in 2019 when we dropped to 23 below. We did have wind chills 50 below during that time. Now, that wind chill back in 1985 was recorded at 78 below zero. But back then, we were using a different type of calculation. So when we take a look at the current stats and how things are done today, that wind chill would be comparable to about 58 below zero. So I mean, what is the difference here? A few degrees, basically almost felt the same, but we didn't get that record cold temperature. However, we did set the all-time record low temperature for Illinois during that polar vortex in 2019. So impressive. Chicago, we're at 31 degrees. We're not tracking that cold weather, but we are going to stay near average as we go into the weekend. We have mostly cloudy skies, some lake effect snow on the other side of the lake. This is our next disturbance here out of the Four Corners region, and this is going to bring us some light snow as we head overnight Saturday into Sunday. You can see the system that's going to continue to work its way up to the north and east. We're on the northern side of the this low, cold sector here, temps near freezing. It's going to be snow for us. So as we take a look a little bit closer with our futurecast here, a peak of sun or two tomorrow, not out of the question, but at this point, don't bet on it. Mostly cloudy skies through much of the day. If we get some sunshine, we'll take it as a gift. As we go Saturday night after about 7, 8 o'clock, some flurries possible, and then closer to about midnight is when those light snow showers will start to spread in. This is going to be a light snow event and not going to accumulate too much, but we'll have a period of brief snow showers as we head overnight Saturday into early Sunday. By 8 a.m. Sunday morning, some flurries lingering will leave the flurry action through the afternoon, and then we dry out Sunday night into Monday with gradual clearing, which could set us up for a period of sunshine early next week. In terms of the snow, what we are expecting, a few tenths of an inch, under an inch of precipitation expected, and snow amounts pretty much through all models showing just a few tenths of an inch, one showing a little bit over an inch and a half. Not really expecting that, but some isolated spots could see close to an inch at most from the system. We're in the 30s through the weekend, up to 38 on Tuesday, and then much colder air here arrives for the middle to the end of next week. It always seems like that last week of January is when we tap into some colder air, and that's going to hold true, but nothing like the polar vortex in 2019. And with that colder air, we'll find some more chances of snow. But sunshine, we're hunting for it. Mark your calendar on Monday, look to the sky, step outside, go for a walk, do what you can, because we are forecasting a period morning and afternoon where we're going to get in some sunshine as long as things continue to hold up as they are going right now with our models. So we'll leave that in the forecast. Then the clouds are back in on Tuesday, and then come late Wednesday into Thursday, or late Tuesday into Wednesday, the next round of snow will be moving in. This looks a little bit healthier, so a few inches of snow not out of the question come Wednesday afternoon and evening. So we'll continue to monitor that. Temperatures outside, upper 20s, low 30s. We're looking at plenty of clouds on our Saturday, light snow on Sunday, some sunshine on Monday. That's our bright spot. And then we turn colder, winter-like action here from the middle to the end of next week with some snow showers, and the healthiest batch of snow will be moving in on Wednesday, guys.
Like focused on that Monday.
Look how pretty that little bit of blue is.
I wore blue to try to make it come true.
Yeah, see, that's what you have to do. You have to manifest, put it in the universe. You're a meteorologist. That's how it works.
That works. Break up that cloud.
Yes. You know, we got to have a blue Monday. We don't mind for a blue Monday. All right. All right, Cheryl. Thank you. It is a vibrant and colorful tradition. The year of the rabbit, a symbol of longevity, peace, and prosperity, will be celebrated this weekend.
And our very own Leah Hope showing us how people in our area are getting ready for the Lunar New Year.
Some kitchens around Chicagoland have been busy making specialties for family celebrations of the Chinese New Year this weekend.
For us, Chinese New Year is the epitome of Hanukkah and Chinese and Christmas all together. These 2 weeks are for you to connect with your family, to come together, to be united.
Kelly Chen is general manager of Sunhua Barbecue in the Argyle Business District. It's a family business started by her parents in the 80s. Now, her and her siblings uphold the traditions for their children.
It is important. It is a tradition that's part of your culture. It's part of who you are. It's what you grew up with. New Year's is about bringing good things to your family for the coming year.
The Midwest Chinese American Senior Association will be the dancers in next week's Argyle Lunar New Year Parade, where you will see lots of red and gold to bring good luck, good health, and wealth in the new year. Hugh Tran has been a dancer for 30 years, now teaching a new generation. While the tradition of lions are to cheer on good things ahead and scare away bad, he tells us it's about having fun and entertaining the families.
They make fun on the new year.
Chen is usually on the business side, but showed us how to make tanyun, sticky glutinous rice balls.
You want everyone to stick together because you want everyone healthy and well together.
Eating tanyun are meant to emphasize family, cooked in a sweet ginger soup to welcome harmony and prosperity in the new year. The Lunar New Year begins Sunday with gratitude and gifts of red envelopes, continuing through next week with a lot of special dishes along the way. In the Argyle District, Leah Hope, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Yummy. And I love the prosperity, the longevity, the peace, everything that this lunar year represents.
Those balls, those rice balls, the sticky rice balls, and they're not too sweet. And the other one thing I heard was A lot of noodles are served at this time because noodles mean longevity, and they mean life, and it's such a wonderful time. And again, in this beautiful multicultural city, we all get to be part of it.
Yeah.
You know,
We'd
you're
like
wearing
to
your
celebrate
red.
it, of course,
There it
yes,
is.
because it's a happy new year, longevity, peace, prosperity. And I love the tradition and the culture and introducing everybody. It's just a wonderful celebration of life, like you said.
And for folks of Chinese background and some of the other Indo-Chinese areas like Thailand and Vietnam, this is, like she said, this is their time. This is their big holiday, and it's all about connecting and family and remembering the people who've come before you, who've sacrificed, the shoulders we stand on.
Yeah.
It's all kind of same kind of theories.
Rich tapestry, the diverse, rich tapestry that the city has. So many neighborhoods of wonderment. So happy New Year, everybody. Enjoy all the celebrations.
Gung Hei Fat Choi.
Okay.
There you go.
Well
that just
done.
popped into my head. Gung Hei Fat Choi. There it is.
All right.
Happy
Well, one
New Year.
of Princess Diana's dresses going up for auction just ahead, just how much it could go for, and the groups who may be interested in purchasing it.
Wow. Plus, months after actor Leslie Jordan's death, we are learning the actual cause. The Los Angeles County Coroner has revealed the cause of death for comedian and actor Leslie Jordan. Jordan was pronounced dead at the scene of a car crash in Hollywood. This was back in October, but it wasn't the crash actually that killed him. Instead, he apparently died of sudden cardiac dysfunction and cardiovascular disease. Jordan was best known for his work on the television show Will and Grace and American Horror Story. He was just 67 years old.
What a beautiful soul he was. And today, flowers were placed at the Star of Crosby, Stills, and Nash on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They're in honor of David Crosby, who passed away at the age of 81. He was also a founding member of the Byrds. What an iconic legacy there.
Wow, incredible. And how about this? Lisa Marie Presley's daughter posting a tribute to her mother today. Riley Keough posting this beautiful picture here of the two of them together on Instagram with the simple caption of a heart. It is her first post since her mother's death. And Presley, of course, is the only daughter of the king, Elvis Presley. She died last week, and a public memorial is set for Sunday at Graceland in Memphis. I'm still thunderstruck how much she looks like Elvis.
Yeah, and the only child of Elvis Presley, Priscilla Presley. A lot of people are lining up to show their love and respects and say goodbye and farewell.
You know, and the king loved his daughter. I mean, we all love our children, and he made a big fuss despite whatever he was going through. And if you've seen the movie about Elvis, the new one, it's I mean, they get into that relationship a little bit. And
They talk about, she did find him when he passed away, and she said her life forever changed on that moment, of course. So
yeah.
we are thinking about their family today. Also tonight, Prince Harry's memoir, Spare. It is expected to be one of the best-selling memoirs of all time. Penguin Random House says that the book has sold 3.2 million copies worldwide in the first week and a half. And those were right here in the United States. That's comparable to the numbers that the major hits like former President Barack Obama's A Promised Land and former First Lady Michelle Obama becoming.
Wow.
Incredible. And he has a 4-book deal apparently, so this is just the beginning.
He's getting it off his chest, and it's a voice in a certain way we've never really heard. Maybe he's speaking for his mom. Speaking of his mom, one of Princess Diana's famous dresses is going up for auction.
Sotheby's calling it one of her favorites. See if you recognize it. Yes, we do. It is gorgeous. It is the purple velvet dress that Diana wore during her 1997 Vanity Fair shoot. It is expected to go for about $80,000 to $120,000 at the auction.
I think there are certainly museums that are interested in having pieces like this for archival reasons. There are certainly celebrities we know that have an interest in Marilyn Monroe, Princess Diana.
Well, the dress is part of Sotheby's The One Auction, grouping unique items. Also included an invitation to President John F. Kennedy's birthday party, the one where Marilyn Monroe famously popped out of the cake, and LeBron James' Game 7 jersey from the 2013 NBA Finals. Wow. Oh, some wonderful keepsakes there. And earlier this week, I'm told that Kim Kardashian purchased Princess Diana's necklace, and it went for about $200,000. It was supposed to go as high as $500,000. Wow. So, if you like,
I was going to bring her name up because our partner Rob Elgas, who is your Kardashian correspondent, he would have brought that up. So he's someone definitely to emulate, and he would. Can you see Kim Kardashian wearing that dress?
Of
I mean,
course.
she wore that Marilyn Monroe dress.
Of course, or even, I mean, just to have it though, but it is history. I think it maybe
Why?
belongs
Okay,
in a
tell
museum.
me from your perspective. You know your fashion. Why would to have it for
Well,
$120,000?
it was on the magazine cover, first of all. Anything that Princess Diana wore. And it depends on pre-marriage and after marriage. Certain things look very different in people. And she changed her fashion style after she was divorced from the monarchy. And so a lot of the items that she wore later are going for much higher prices, of course. But who knows?
Her emancipation, maybe, from the royal family.
It's just beautiful.
And it's purple, not black,
right.
despite what you
but
might
it
see
looks
on your
like
screen.
it depends, and it's velvet. And it has significance. If you read the article, on the cover of Vogue magazine, what she talked about inside, it belongs maybe in a museum, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
A museum
we'll follow
piece
up.
indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking, well, let's just move along here. Regal movie theaters, a whole bunch of them set to close. The local theaters that are on the list, we'll tell you about that. Welcome back, everyone. New here at 7 o'clock. The Justice Department is investigating conduct at the Abbott baby formula plant in Sturgis, Michigan. Now, you'll remember that's a plant that shut down after a contamination situation last year, and that triggered a national baby formula shortage. An Abbott spokesperson telling ABC News that the company is cooperating.
Well, Regal Cinema is closing dozens of movie theaters, including some right here in our area. 39 cinemas will be shut down. The decision comes 4 months after its parent company, Cineworld, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, the closures include Bolingbrook Stadium 12 in Bolingbrook and Round Lake Beach Stadium 18 in Round Lake Beach.
All right, take a look at this. It's a massive sculpture of a guitar. And it was just unveiled today at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66 in Joliet. The sculpture is called Gigantar. Get it? Gigantar?
I love that.
Yeah. The museum here is saying it is the largest handmade guitar sculpture ever made. It is 24 feet tall.
Don't let it string you along. Okay.
Okay, Craig Wall. Craig Wall, our political reporter, the king.
The chorus of, people singing the praises of this guy, what do you call it, Gigantar?
Gigantar.
I like that.
Including Rick Nielsen.
Yeah.
From Cheap Trick was there. And yeah, that's definitely worth a visit.
Yeah, tourist attraction for sure, destination, especially if you love music.
I love seeing, I love seeing the old rockers there.
Okay.
All the old rockers are all hanging out.
Are you an old rocker? Are you in that group? What'd you say?
I'm neither old nor a rocker. No, I don't know. My sister always says I have terrible.
Really?
I have terrible taste in music, but you know what? I like to dance. What can I say?
Okay, well, as long as you can dance, that's all. It doesn't matter. And any music is good music.
Right.
So as long as you can dance.
You remember the whole disco sucks days? I mean, I was a very young man.
Right.
Then.
I worked at the Comiskey Park when they broke all the records.
Did you?
I was an employee. I was an Andy friend and usher.
Wow. Well, I was like a little kid, and I liked that music. And I don't know how many people made fun of it. And I was like, what are you talking about? It makes you happy. It makes people dance. It makes girls. Kind of interested in you if you like to dance.
Some music. Let's go. Let's go, Ravi. We celebrated 1 year.
That's right.
Yeah,
that was a great show.
We need you to add a little something for our next reel.
Okay. Well, you guys were like eating and drinking online.
Do you have rhythm? Because
I think I have rhythm. I don't know that other people think. I don't think other people think.
That's up for discussion. So, all right, everybody, it's the dinner hour. We talked about the golden hour. Look at this deliciousness right there on your screen. We talked about culture and tradition. Chicago Restaurant Week, it is officially here. Coming up next, this sounds like happy a little bit.
Yeah,
we're talking to a restaurant owner about what these special events mean for the restaurants here in this city. Ooh, that looks delicious and yummy. Okay.
It's tough when it's a dinner hour. Stay with us for that.
Okay.
Friday night, and tonight is the first night of Chicago Restaurant Week.
A lot of people are going out to dinner tonight. It's really a 17-day celebration with hundreds of restaurants offering special menus across the city. So joining us tonight on the Our Power Stream team on this Friday night to kick it all off, Rahini Day, the founder of Vermilion and Let's Talk Women. Welcome to the show tonight.
Terrific to be with you, Cheryl, Ravi.
All right. So exciting. Yummy. This is our Yummy segment. Chicago Restaurant Week is returning for its 16th annual year. What can people expect, Rohini?
So I'm not going to give you the usual that you can Google. You'll see it everywhere. You know, the over 300 restaurants, over 30 neighborhoods, all of that good stuff. But it is an amazing highlight of our city. It showcases our rich depth of dining. It's also a huge engine for our economy. You know, employment, tastemakers, a draw for conventions, draw for leisure traffic. And I am so grateful to choose Chicago for hosting this again. It's been a rocky few years, as you know. This makes a bleak January just delightful. So I encourage everybody to go out every night and eat their way through the offerings.
You know, it's so funny, Rohini, that so many people, when they ask me about Chicago and living here, one of the first things they talk about is the food. I remember when I was first thinking about this job, well, Chicago, it just means food. Why is that? Why is food so central to essentially our citizenship in this town?
That's a terrific question. I think it's a couple of reasons. One is it is the easiest way to travel. And we are always looking for something new. Sometimes it's to seek comfort, the very, you know, places that we love. We want to go back to the same dishes. Sometimes it's for adventure. And I think I see us embracing so many more global cuisines. You know, Korean has become almost mainstream. Japanese, of course, is everywhere. And my own restaurant is a melding of Indian and Latin American fare. So how much more can you travel through food?
You don't have to travel anywhere, but just around the city. No need to get on a plane to have a vacation, a food vacation. It kicked off last night at the Field Museum. So many restaurants, but there is something important. We talked about the value of the economy here in Chicago, and yours is a hub for Let's Talk Women. Talk about that initiative, Rohini, and the importance of this Restaurant Week offering.
So Let's Talk Women is, this is something that I founded 2 years ago in 2020 in the thick of the pandemic with 15 of us women restaurateurs in Chicago, literally to help our businesses survive. It was visceral at that point, you know, all the debt, we didn't know the morality of staying open and just coping without hand sanitizer, toilet paper, the gamut. But now we are 80 of us women restaurateurs in Chicago, and I've replicated it in 14 different cities in the US, 700 of us women restaurateurs around the country, going international. And we are thrilled to be the hub in Chicago of this rich dining nexus for women in business and women as business owners. And I do want to mention, it's not related to Chicago Restaurant Week, but Choose Chicago has been a huge partner in helping us form this, being a partner to all our initiatives. And upcoming for Women's History Month, we have a bash for all of Chicago called Let's Talk and Celebrate. It's going to be March 1st to the 8th, all over the country, 14 cities. Chicago is on the 2nd in gold, glamour, and gourmet. So we just invite the entire city to come, experience 30 tasting stations, and have a lovely time feasting on more Chicago food.
I'm having trouble concentrating on this just because
I know, stay focused.
Let's talk about Vermilion. Let's talk about your restaurant, what your experience was, just in terms of Restaurant Week, how you're coming out of what happened with the pandemic, inflation, all those topics. I know it's a lot, but talk about Vermilion.
So Vermilion, Ravi, as I mentioned, is a melding of Indian and Latin American, very unique. A lot of people don't get it off the bat, but it's because of rich historical cross-influences. For example, the Portuguese had colonized us for 400 years on the Malabar coast, all of Goa. That's in our food. In fact, one of our dishes is the lobster Portuguese, which the year we opened was #1 worldwide by USA Today. The #1 dish. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can believe it.
Did she?
I got the same background. I can believe it.
Rohini, did you send any of that over here? I'm trying to remember the lobster dish. What's the name?
It'd be too much. You would lose your concentration.
And that is, that is just one of our dishes in the $42 or the $59 price point for Chicago Restaurant Week. This is our 20th year of Indian Latin. We made it through 2 decades. We are ready for change. The last 2 weeks of Indian Latin before our metamorphosis. And so I encourage everyone to come and try it before it disappears. And also to celebrate Chicago Restaurant Week, we're doing a giveaway for 6 dinners on our Instagram at Vermilion Chicago.
Ooh.
Wow.
Well, I know
Come
where
with
we're
your
going.
friends,
No,
6 dinners.
right here.
You will-
celebrate
3 dinners.
You will never forget it. Rohini Day, Vermilion Restaurant Week, the
Let's
Women
talk
in
women.
Restaurateur. It's amazing. Thank you for joining us, and we do have a link for your restaurant and the Restaurant Week menus on ABC7Chicago.com. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you and
Thank
congratulations.
you again. You've got to come have it at our place.
What's
Ravi,
the
Cheryl, I'm
lobster?
going to hold you to
The
it.
final lobster.
I'll be there.
the
I'll be there. You know I'll be there.
Yep. All right. Thank
Bye-bye.
you in advance for the yum yum. All right.
You heard it
Yeah.
on the record.
Right. It's noted.
All right. Let's talk about a new group ranking in movies.
Just ahead tonight, the top 25 films of 2022. Did you see any of them? That's according to critics around the country. Oh yeah, Top Gun, Avatar. We'll be right back. We need you to give us some.
It is so.
Oh no.
What? That's the best I can do.
Well, the first time the Associated Press has released a list of best movies.
That's right. Cheryl's still dancing.
I know, because it's Friday.
You didn't see my feet. But anyway, the AP has done a college sports poll, of course, for years. So for this list, the Associated Press turning to some of the country's best film writers and critics. So coming in the top spot, the Banshees Inisherin.
Of Inisherin.
Of Inisherin. And that is followed by another top Oscars contender, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Everybody has been talking about those 2 movies are going to take everything. And then this one too, Tar. And in 4th place, Nope.
Nope.
You remember Nope, right? So as for the biggest box office hits of the year, though, we're talking Top Gun, Maverick, came in at number 7 on the list.
Well, it goes to show you as well that there's an appetite, there's a market for going to see a big movie in a big theater. So we had that other story about theaters tonight. You got to go see this one in the theater. All right, the highest grossing film released in 2022, Avatar. Look at that. The Way of Water, number 16, tied with The Whale. And another box office hit, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
You know, I cannot believe it did not make the top 25.
Oh my gosh. Well, but it's winning all kinds of awards during the awards season. Now, our Florida director guy went to see Avatar. He said he felt like he was in an aquarium the whole time. He said it was fantastic.
Again, the theater experience, right?
Yeah, the theater experience. So, I mean, it seems peaceful and calming and just beautiful and just escapism. You know, you get to just go away and think you're at sea somewhere. So, because water is so peaceful and powerful at the same time.
Right, and for some of us who didn't really understand Avatar the first time around, you could just kind of go through the scenes of the water and just say, okay, this is a nice visual thing.
fantastic.
I have to watch it
creation,
twice to get
though.
it really
Yeah.
understand it, but maybe this thing is amazing.
The second one, right?
Yeah,
Well,
sequels are a tough
I mean,
call.
And movies are, you know, the list that people make. It's whatever you like is at the end of the day. You go see whatever you like, what you know makes you joyful and happy.
Yeah.
So they might not make a list at all, but you had a good time and you enjoyed it.
And it takes you away. All right. Speaking of taking us away, there's Cheryl Scott
we made it to
standing
another
by.
work week together.
Woo!
Happy Friday!
But she's got more clouds in the background.
It's just never ending.
I know.
We don't see that.
We need to
Just
see that
blue.
Monday graphic.
Monday
again.
blue. Monday blues. Give us some Monday blues.
Put up the Monday forecast for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, right? We're going to get you some sun, but like limited sun. As we go into the next couple of days, cloudy skies will really take over our weekend, and we're even tracking some more snow. We do have some lake effect snow showers on the other side of the lake here, and we're looking pretty quiet for the remainder of the night. And dry start to the weekend, but it's this storm system back to the south and west that will lift out of the Four Corners region and provide us with some light snow shower activity as we head into our Sunday. Area of low pressure here that will be tracking to the south of us, so we'll be in the cold sector, and this will spread in some snow showers as we go late Saturday and into early Sunday, then keeping some flurries in our forecast through the Sunday afternoon time frame. Zooming in a little bit closer here. So for the remainder of the night tonight, we are quiet. It will be a little bit breezy. Tomorrow morning, we wake up in the 20s, low 30s into the afternoon, mid 30s, perhaps a peak of sun or two early tomorrow, but truly mostly cloudy skies through much of the day. As we go into the evening, clouds are back after about 8 o'clock, some light scattered snow, and then closer to about 10 to midnight is when we'll get some steadier light snow here in the mix. This is not going to be a big system for us. It will bring in a quick round, brief round of some light snow showers into early Sunday morning. They become scattered by about 8 a.m. and then some flurries lingering through the afternoon. And there's that cloud line there, some clearer skies just off to the north and west that will slowly work its way into our region. So gradual clearing skies overnight Sunday, which will take us into Monday, where we're likely going to see some sun. That would be nice. Our snowcast showing not a lot of snow out of this system over the weekend. By Sunday afternoon, a few tenths of an inch up to a half an inch, pretty much max. And models are agreeing on that. NAM, the outlier here, showing 1.6 inches of snow. Again, not a big deal. An isolated spot or two could see close to an inch of snow out of that system overnight Saturday into Sunday. We're mild here in terms of their temperatures, near and a little bit above average. Then we begin to dip from the middle to the end of next week. Some colder air, and the coldest air really yet this January will be moving in. We will fit you in some sunshine. Wait, let me rewind that. Let's go back and let's pause it for a second. 35 and finally some sunshine on our Monday. We're looking at that sun early morning into the afternoon, and hopefully that holds true. We'll continue to fine tune and tweak that. We're not snow tracking, we're sun tracking at this point. But some light snow on Sunday, Monday some sun, and then next week we get colder and a little bit active with rounds of some scattered snow showers, especially on Wednesday. We'll be back after this.
See you at 10 on TV.